Outliers can wreck training, monitoring, and forecasts before you notice. You'll use IsolationForest in scikit-learn to surface suspicious points without labeled anomalies. This is the pattern you'll be able to implement by the end, which fits on baseline readings and detects outliers in incoming points. I'm Professor Pi, teaching AI foundations with simple Python. Anomaly detection is often the unsung hero of reliable systems. In a data pipeline, a few bad readings can shift a model, hide a regression, or trigger false alarms. IsolationForest is a practical tool for spotting those bad apples without labeled anomalies. People reach for it when they need a fast, unsupervised way to flag odd samples from sensor feeds, transaction logs, or feature streams. Scikit-learn is a good fit because it gives a clear implementation and predictable parameters you can tune for alert volume. At a high level, IsolationForest works by randomly partitioning the data. Points that are easy to isolate by these random splits tend to be anomalies. Imagine carving up a scatter plot with random cuts. An isolated point ends up in a small partition quickly. That shortness is what the model measures. This makes IsolationForest robust to different scales and simple to run on small to medium batches. We will follow a simple, guided build. First, we set a baseline using a classic z-score rule, so you know what a basic detector looks like. Then we switch to IsolationForest on the same toy readings, rank suspicious points by score, tweak sensitivity, and finally run the model on a fresh batch to simulate production alerts. That sequence keeps the ideas concrete and shows exactly how each step changes what you investigate. First, we create a simple baseline to ground our intuition. This snippet creates a simple, one-dimensional dataset and flags large deviations using a z-score baseline. The variable x holds mostly small Gaussian values, with 4 obvious far-out numbers appended as anomalies. The code standardizes x by subtracting its mean and dividing by its standard deviation to form the array z. Using NumPy where it selects indices whose absolute z-score exceeds 3. A common outlier rule of thumb. The variable mz extracts the largest absolute z-score among flagged points for quick intuition. The printed counts show how many points break the threshold and how extreme the worst case is, grounding our anomaly sense before using advanced tools. Next, we fit IsolationForest to the same toy data to see what it finds. This example fits scikit-learn's IsolationForest to the same toy data and reports how many points it flags. The variable x reshapes the one-dimensional x into a two-dimensional feature matrix because scikit-learn estimators expect columns as features. The object also is an IsolationForest instance. Contamination sets the expected fraction of anomalies used to place the decision threshold, and random state ensures reproducible trees. The call iso.fit learns partitions that isolate points quickly if they are unusual. The array y from ISO_predict marks inliers as 1 and outliers as -1, and NIF counts the -1 labels. The printed total shows IsolationForest's unsupervised detection capacity on this data. Now we look at scores to rank suspicious points rather than just binary labels. This code ranks points by IsolationForest's per sample anomaly score to surface the single most suspicious case. The call iso.scoreSamples returns higher values for more normal points, so the code negates it into S, where higher means more anomalous. The function numpy argmax finds the index itop of the largest score in S. The variable vtop holds that score so you can gauge how far it stands from the pack. Compared with simple binary labels, score-based ranking helps prioritize investigations. The printed index and score identify which point looks most problematic, and how strongly the model views it as an outlier. Then, we tune sensitivity to see how alert volume changes. This snippet increases IsolationForest sensitivity and shows the change in flagged points. The object ISO2 raises contamination to 0.1, which makes the decision threshold stricter and typically increases the number of outliers reported. It also increases N estimators to 200, adding tree diversity for slightly smoother scores at a small compute cost. After fitting ISO2 on X, the code predicts labels, counts the negative ones as N2, and compares them with the earlier count, NIF. Increasing contamination raises the fraction of samples designated anomalous, while more trees often stabilize rankings. The printed difference highlights how tuning impacts alert volume for your workflow. Finally, we simulate applying the model to new incoming data. This snippet applies the already trained scikit-learn IsolationForest to a fresh batch and counts alerts. The variable xnew holds mostly typical points with 2 clear outliers. Then xnew reshapes it for the estimator. The call ISOPredict produces 1 for normal samples and -1 for anomalies on unseen data, matching how you would run this in production. Counting -1 values gives alerts, a concrete number you can track over time or route to monitoring. If you expect a noisier domain, slightly raising contamination during training will generally yield more alerts. The printed total shows how many items in the new batch warrant investigation now. Mapping this toy flow to a real system is straightforward. Replace the one-dimensional reading with your feature vector. Run the baseline check for quick sanity tests. Then, score with IsolationForest to prioritize. In production, score each incoming batch and track the alert count over time so you can tune contamination to match operational workload. Recap. What it is: an unsupervised ensemble that isolates anomalies by random partitioning. When to use it: when you need a quick, interpretable anomaly detector without labels. One caveat: sensitivity settings control alert volume and need tuning to avoid noise or missed events. Next step: tune the contamination parameter on a validation stream to match your acceptable alert rate, and then stabilize scores by increasing the number of trees if rankings jitter. If AI foundations in Python help, subscribe and watch the AI Foundations videos.